I'm Paul Page on YouTube, and this is GP Laps.
Oh man, Paul, that was quite loud. Sorry for everybody out there. Welcome back. Paul just shouting in your ear to start a Saturday morning. I hope everybody's doing all right, though. Back for round number 14. Round number 14 of the CART 1990 season in IndyCar Racing 2, which I'm very excited for. Road America, a track that I know many folks love. I'm coming around to it. Every time I drive on it, I like it a little bit more, but it's never been one of my favorites despite the almost universal praise that I see out there for it. And in IndyCar 2, if you can remember way back to the 1989 season that I did, it was not the best race that happened that season. But we'll try to rectify that and have a good showing here today. Hello out there. I hope you're all doing well. Let me, there we go. Get IndyCar Racing 2 up. Back for the 1990 season. We're getting very much to the end of this, the bitter end. It's only 3 rounds remaining, counting the race today, and the championship battle is tighter than ever. If we look at our driver here, I don't know what that black shadow is about, but Ryan Axelson driving for Sunoco Papyrus Racing. We've been doing pretty well on the season, but not quite as good as some of our rivals have been doing. Go check out the championship. Last time out, getting a much-needed win at Mid-Ohio, despite a couple spins and kind of chaos throughout the race. Was able to come away with the win there. I think I was just a bit faster than everybody else, and sometimes that happens. I guess it works in my favor. But Danny Sullivan has made a charge in the late season, winning 3 out of the last 5 races, to work his way to Michael Andretti, who in fashion has been doing quite well this season. But yeah, great season so far. I love the calendar from the 90s and CART, and 16 races I feel like it's a good number for Formula type series. But we're on to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And there's the 3 rounds remaining. There's this race here. We have the hardest, in my opinion, the hardest oval of the season in Nazareth coming up after this. And then Laguna Seca to round out the season. We've also got the All-Star race in there, which I guess I did it last season, so I might as well do it this season. It'll just serve as practice. At Nazareth, we'll do a short oval with a limited grid of cars. I can't imagine that will be that exciting, but we'll see. I guess we'll see how it is together. I actually didn't even realize, we're almost doing this to the actual dates. It's only that it took me 2 years to get here. But we're at Road America. So let's go into our season. These are the points right now. Michael Andretti leads the way, just 1 point over Danny Sullivan, 153 to 152 points. It's very tight. They both have 10 top 10s, 8 top 5s, and despite Danny having 4 wins to Michael's 3 and 4 poles to Michael's 2, somehow Michael has just pointed himself better throughout the season, and finds himself ahead of Danny Sullivan here. But I think Danny had a couple DNFs, which is what has... I wish there was a column for DNFs here, because I think that would tell the story. But there's been a couple rounds where Danny Sullivan didn't score. If we go back, what am I? 22 points off the lead, 23 points. And it is absolutely possible for me to catch these 2 up front. But they would have to have some pretty bad showings, and I would have to have a good race. But I think this is going to be the one to tell us if there is a chance at all in catching them. If I don't do well here today, if I don't outscore them today, I think the championship is off, and we'll just be going for wins for the final couple of rounds. But I've had a pretty good season. 5 poles, 3 wins, but not quite as good as Michael Andretti and Danny Sullivan. Allister Jr. is definitely not out of it either for 3rd place, at least, in being just a few points behind me. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting run here today at Road America. And today, is the first race where I'll be using force feedback on a stream. If you missed it, somehow I worked on and built a force feedback app for IndyCar racing too. So we will now have force feedback while driving, and I've been using it now for about a month, or a little over a month. I guess I was working on it for a couple weeks before I posted that video. But it has made me a lot faster than I used to be, which I guess is good. I can feel the car now, so you can run the car at way more extreme settings, and I can catch slides, and I'll probably end up spinning and crashing today saying all this, but just in general, I'm much faster than I was before. So I have bumped up the AI speeds a bit, because otherwise I was going to have a very easy time beating them today on the same difficulty that we ran last season. So we'll see if I did some testing to try to bump them up a good amount, and we'll see if everything is balanced and all that. But let's do a quick practice lap just to make sure it all looks and sounds good. We're using the HD version of IndyCar Racing 2, the rendition version, through the rendition wrapper. So we've got HD graphics, we've got force feedback. There's all kinds of cool stuff coming out for this game. And I don't know. You can see. Yeah, it's tough to demonstrate force feedback. I was struggling with this when I was making the video about it. Is how do you show force feedback? Because it is such a thing you just feel. But it is quite nice. It just really helps you understand what the car is doing. I've always said with this game that you have to focus so much on what you're doing, because all you have is what you see. But now I can actually feel the car a bit, and you just know if the car is going to slide or spin just a slight bit earlier than you used to, and so you can actually catch stuff like that. Like if I go into a corner, I know if I've got understeer, or if the car is neutral, or if it's got a little oversteer, and man, does it make a big difference. And it allows me to run more aggressive setups. And it just has increased the enjoyment of the game quite a lot. I don't know. I've been driving this and Grand Prix 2 almost exclusively for a few weeks outside of the Grand Prix Legends stuff to fool around with that 71 mod. And I'm just really enjoying these. I tried yesterday. I booted up. I was wondering what's been going on with AMS2 lately, and I booted it up, and I got stuck behind Prost trying to pass a slow lapped car, and he sat behind him for half a lap, and I just shut it off, because stuff like that is so frustrating, and it doesn't exist in these older games for some reason. But all the newer ones, they just can't get the AI to be fun to race against. All right, things are feeling good. This is the updated Road America circuit from Pavel that adds curbing and stuff. The original one for IndyCar 2 didn't have curbs on the side of the track, and much better trees and foliage and colors, and the modeling in general of the track is much better. I think it's a generic kind of early 90s version, maybe not specific to any one year, maybe 95, but it fits the 90s season quite well. All right, I'm going to just practice a pit entry. I don't think I have done a single pit entry in my testing yet. Come down turn 5. I think this is going to be one of the good passing zones. And then if you were here for the 89 season, this race was actually going quite well. I think I was in the top 5, and coming up into this corner, I tried to pass to lap Rick Mears, and we came together and destroyed my car. And it was one of the only races during the 89 season that I actually fully DNF'd out of because of damage. So we ran the lighter damage mode in the 89 season. Try to get around Scott Goodyear here. Wait, is that Scott Goodyear? I've been watching the 1993 season a bit, and so I'm going to get my drivers mixed up. Yeah, I think it is Scott Goodyear, right? 1990? Or is it Ludwig Heimrath still? Oh, This is the problem with jumping between sets and stuff all the time. All right, pit entry on the right here. It's kind of a weird one because I don't know where the speed line starts. 80 mile an hour pit lane speed right there. It's hidden, so I have to be careful with that. All right, things feel all right. 4-mile circuit. It's only a 50-lap race. Definitely the shortest number of laps for the season, but it is the longest track, so that makes sense. But 50 laps is all it is. 89 was okay. So it was Scott Goodyear. This was his rookie season. I think I knew that. If you go back, if you just jump from the last stream, you're gonna think I've got amnesia or something. All right. So we'll jump into qualifying session here, and I'll run my race setup just with some less fuel. And yeah, I set a lap time a second better than the lap time I did in the 89 season. And part of that is maybe just practice and equipment and stuff, but it's definitely the force feedback and the HD and all that. But we'll take a preliminary look at the qualifying. Rick Mears is on the pole, the provisional pole. He'll be potentially out there lapping to improve that, but with a 143.8, which is mighty fast. Michael Andretti in second, Danny Sullivan. So the championship rivals in second and third. I got to get up there in that top 5. I can't waste time being in traffic, but we're gonna have to put in a heck of a lap to do it. And then of course some of these guys will be out here while I'm qualifying, and could improve their times and everything. Yeah, Mears is gonna try to get me back for the last season. I can't remember. I think he also crashed out when I hit him. So, things look and sound good. I think I saw today the rendition wrapper was updated, which makes me a little nervous. That I don't know what changed really, but hopefully it all continues to work well. 80 mile an hour speed limit. In watching the 93 season, that was the first season that they had a speed limit in place, and it was interesting what some of the drivers thought about it. I actually think we could probably, I've not looked into it at all, but I think we could probably remove the speed limit if we really wanted to, with all the hacking we've done of this game. I fear what would happen with the AI if you did that, though. I know in NASCAR Legends is a game that doesn't have the pit speed limit, but they implemented something where the AI cars can kind of phase through each other in the pit lane, similar to an iRacing situation. And I think something like that's necessary for these games. I think the AI would destroy each other in the pits if you made it no speed limit. All right, we'll come around. We've got only 8 minutes. It's not a long qualifying session for a track this size. Oh, it is so much easier with the force feedback. You can just tell much better what the car is doing. I mean, that's what force feedback's supposed to do, but nicely through the first corner there, down to somehow turn 3. I added a little bit of rear downforce to the car, which on a track like this, you really don't want much downforce, but I found it really helps. Might be slightly slower in a straight line, though. Slightly wide there. We'll get on the throttle early. This is an easy one to miss the apex on, as I do slightly there, but it's just jumping up that hill. To the carousel. It's tough to get the line right here. You want to just make sure you get that late apex to get it on. To the long back stretch, we got the kink big lift. I missed the apex there. All over the grass through Canada corner. Get it up the hill here. We got a little extra pavement on the outside if we need it there. Come through final corner, wide again. I missed the apex on a few corners. I'm going to lower the front bar one click. See if I can get that turn in a bit better. Come across the line though, already on the pole. Man, 143.6. I beat my best time again. Dang, the suspense I guess won't be there today. We'll run the rest of the session. I'll see if I can improve here. And then, of course, the other cars that are out there might improve as well. But, wow, I did not expect that. It wasn't even that good of a lap, I feel like. Missed the top of the hill. That's so easy to do. This lap's probably not going to be better than my last one. Much better through the kink that time. End of the lap was actually pretty decent there, but I really messed up the middle. Yeah, it was 143.8. That actually still would have been good enough for pole. Man. Whoa. I don't know if anybody fast is also out on the track and if they'll improve. I don't think I've seen a change in the top 5's lap times. Pass through the kink there. Whoa. See it? Horseshoe drag lets you do something like that where you get a couple wheels on the dirt, kick the car sideways, and I'm able to catch it. Come across the line. Yeah, improve it to a 143.3. I'm interested to see just how fast I can go now. Got very light fuel now. I think my qualifying time for the 89 season was like a 145 something. So it is just so much faster now. Slightly wide there, but that was all right. And one of the things I added to the force feedback app was the suggestion or thoughts of Niels Hussingveld that was saying that longitudinal forces play a huge role in the force feedback, so the forward and backward forces, specifically when you're braking. And so we found where the longitudinal tire forces were and added them to the app, so you can feel the braking now, specifically when you, oh, come on. That's going to really kill this lap. This is the last one I'm going to be able to do here on the fuel. Come around, final corner though, we'll stay in it, you never know. Let's see what this lap is here. Yeah, no off tracks matter here. How was that? Oh, hit the wall after the start line. How was that faster? Dang. Wow, I did not expect to be able to go that fast. That's like 2 seconds faster, 3 seconds faster than I did the last season. Trying to block these guys. Yeah, there's Danny Sullivan and Michael Andretti and everybody too. Well, pole. This does not mean I'm going to run away with the race. The speed of the cars during qualifying versus the race is actually a different thing. But quite easily on the pole then. Ryan Axelson dominating. What I was saying with the braking is that there are now forces on the car, on the force feedback with braking. So specifically, if you brake and it's not dead center when you're braking, I realize I'm blocking everybody. I'm just gonna park it down here in turn 5. I don't think I've got enough fuel to get back anyway. If you brake and it's off-centered, the braking, so you maybe sliding the car a bit, you'll actually feel that in the wheel, and that has helped a ton as well. It's just added a lot. Yeah, 1 point for the pole, which is huge. So that gets me, I think, 21 points back. So we're basically, if I win this race and lead every lap, and Danny Sullivan and Michael Andretti don't score points at all, it's saying a lot. But if all that happens, I would be tied for the lead of the championship. Yeah, Niels was such a huge help, and so were you, Eric. It was really a group effort. It was really fun. It's been fun to see all the different folks that have been helping. Once we started getting going, it really was SK that kicked it all off with all the work that they've been doing with some of the telemetry apps and the dashboard apps and figuring out some of where these different parameters were, and it's just snowballed from there. And now it feels like we've got a little nerve center of folks figuring out how these games work. And Hatcher, I don't think I've made a video or talked at all yet about Hatcher, the one that's developed the Windows version patch for Grand Prix 2. Get out of the way of the Penske here. I don't think anybody's going to improve. Oh, Allenster Jr. actually just jumped up to 3rd. Interesting. But yeah, Hatcher, that's developed the Windows version of Grand Prix 2, has now set out working on exploring the Windows version of Indycar 2, and so far has added a couple cool features. I suppose if I crash out early today, we can take a look at that to make the stream a bit longer. But yeah, they've begun taking a look at the Windows version of IndyCar 2 and enhancing that. They've made it work on modern Windows computers, which is something crazy in itself, because that version of the game hasn't even launched for me on Windows 11 up until now. But we've got some funny graphics there. But yeah, Hatcher's been jumping into the game a little bit as well. But all right, so qualifying. Take a look at the results from it. But Ryan Axelson gets the pole a little over a second, 1.1 seconds ahead of Rick Mears. I only did 44s during my testing, so did not think, I thought I might be able to get a 43 if I pushed really hard, but clearly able to do quite a bit more than that. I'm always a little bit faster on the stream. I don't know why that is. I think it's maybe the concentration or the pressure or something, but able to get the pole. But I don't think the race is going to be quite as easy to run away. Rick Mears, though, in second, so I'm going to have to face the music with Rick right here at the beginning, and hopefully we don't have a coming together like the 89 season. Allister Jr. squeaks out third. He's fighting me for third in the championship, so I need to watch him. Michael Andretti then in fourth, ahead of Danny Sullivan, the two championship leaders. Fourth and fifth, Mario Andretti back in sixth, ahead of Larry Landike, Eddie Cheever, Raul Boisel, and John Andretti in the Porsche to round out the top 10. Yeah, I guess it is better to be. I tend to crash more on streams, though, because I think I push myself to try to make it exciting. So it's a double-edged sword. Bobby Rahal then is in 11th ahead of Teo Fabi in the other Porsche. Emerson Fittipaldi back in 13th ahead of Scott Goodyear, confirmed in the race in 14th. And then Mike Graf back in 15th. Take a quick look at the rest of the grid. Only 25 cars started Road America in 1990, so we've got the same number here. Got Roberto Guerrero back in 16th ahead of Randy Lewis, Tony Bettenhausen Jr., AJ Foyt in 19th. AJ, this is the race that he really hurt his legs in a crash, which really, it didn't end his career, but I think it slowed him down a bit from competing kind of full-time as he was. Very unfortunate, but luckily he was able to recover. It was a scary incident, but he'll be starting our race in 19th and hopefully having nothing like that. Hiro Matsushita back in 20th, had a Didier Thays, Dominic Dobson, Scott Brighton, Dean Hall, and then Jeff Wood rounds out the field. All right. 50 laps at Road America. Starting on the pole. It's going to be an interesting one. I am going to save the weekend in case we need to restart it for some reason. But we'll load our setup. So we got full fuel. I'm running 10 degrees rear wing, which I think is about 2 degrees more than I ran in the last season's race here. But it just really helps in the corners. Give you that little bit more grip. So I'm going to keep that. We can adjust the wings in the setup in the pit stops, which I don't think I've ever done on a stream. But if we feel like I'm very slow, we can play around with that. But yeah, 50 laps here. It's a 200-mile race, like with all IndyCar races from the time. It should be just a two-stopper unless there's yellow flags and mess it up. And we'll just do the first 2 stints, full fuel as far as we can go. And then we should only have to take maybe 25 gallons of fuel in the last stop if it goes green the whole way. But we've had quite a lot of yellows this season for different things. And you never know what might happen during these races. Keep it exciting. But we'll get started. Round 14 of the 1990 season here at Road America. Then we get the longest pace lap of the season. To think about the start. I appreciate everybody joining today. Should be a fun race. I've been doing a lot of IndyCar 2 lately. That might also be part of the speed. 3-minute pace lap for real. Yeah, but the Windows version that Hatcher's working on is interesting. So far, he's made it work with modern Windows, which is great. There's a bunch of settings to do controller mapping stuff, so you can get controllers working with it a bit easier. The biggest downside of the Windows version is it's not in HD. So I think that's going to hold a lot of folks back from using that one exclusively. I think it's not going to be possible through any conventional means to get the rendition version going through the Windows version and have it all be one. I mean, that would be the dream, I guess. But it is neat to have the Windows. The Windows one is easier to get working in general, and so if folks don't mind the low resolution graphics, then that could be actually a great way to play this game once that gets worked out. And who knows what other features Hatcher is going to put in there. All the stuff that he's added to Grand Prix 2, I can only imagine. I'm crossing my fingers for like widescreen or something, but I don't know if that's asking too much. But he has implemented look around, which I actually kind of I've been playing that version, just testing it and stuff, and I kind of miss being able to look around. So in that version, you can actually turn your head to the left, to the right, and also look behind you, which is crazy that he was able to add that map to some buttons, but it's very cool. Yeah, Grand Prix 2, I've been playing that a bit too. Just obviously with the force feedback stuff, but then from there, just enjoying it. I did make a couple updates to the force feedback post the video I posted that really fixed it. I fixed a couple of the physics oddities that were causing a lot of just noise. I guess you'd call it noise in the force feedback, where it was just bouncing around a lot. Smoothed all that out. Uh-oh. Why did it freeze? That was scary. I don't know if it froze for you guys. Well, we'll hope it hope it doesn't freeze while we're driving for real. All right, we got to get geared up for the start here. Get my boost back up. That was frightening. All right, we'll try to just put that behind me. I don't understand why that would have happened. We'll get ready here, though, for 200 miles, Road America. Rick Mears on the outside pole. Try not to jump the start. This is kind of, I don't know if I've started on the pole here before. Just can't pass the pace car before the green. There it is. Green flag is out. Rick Mears got a little bit of a jump on me. Side by side, working down the front stretch here, down towards turn one. Oh, Michael Andretti as well. They're slipstreaming with each other. I don't have anybody to work with here. On the inside into turn one. Balancer Jr. looks to the outside as well. We cut him off as we head down to turn three then. Michael's going for it. He's already got around Rick, then up the inside. We'll work down the long stretch towards turn number 5. Dang, not a great start there. They both got the jump on me. See if we can quickly get around one of them here. Coming up to the spot where it happened in the 89 season with Rick Mears. Think better of it this time than jumping up the inside. Oh, a lot of understeer there. Come on. Rick fades to the left, jump up the inside into the carousel. There we go. A little bit on the dirt. Try to get a nice run here down the backstretch through the kink. All right, we got to calm down a little bit. The freezing on the pace lap really spooked me. He's got Rick looking to make a move, block the inside line into Canada corner. Ooh, he's on the outside there. One of the things, we talked about this at the Mid-Ohio race, which was the first one I used the HD version in. But the mirrors are a lot harder on this version because they're accurate, but you can't see very much to the left and to the right, so it's almost a hindrance for you. All right, we'll come across the line, though. Complete lap number 1, and in second, Michael's really trying to put a gap on me here. Just see if we can settle in and at least match him in lap times. I don't know if he's got that super speed today or not. All right. Whew. No freezes yet. I've got the pause button ready. If it freezes, I just got to pause the game right away. I don't know why it froze. That was really bizarre. Nicely through turn 5. I think I've caught him a little bit through the first part of the lap here. I've definitely caught him. It's easier to push a bit around these natural terrain road courses because there's not a lot to hit, immediately off the track compared to like a city course. Just in my own time, I did a full race at Surfers Paradise in Indycar 2, and racing those street tracks is you just really have to, at least for myself, I really have to hold myself back, because as soon as you start pushing, it is so easy to hit a wall. A little bit of oversteer there in the entry, but I was able to sense it and catch it much before I started sliding. I don't think I would have been able to do that in the past. Yeah, it's crazy how much faster it's making me with the force feedback. It's borderline a cheat compared to not using it. All right, come across the line. I was 2.1. Oh, I lost 0.2. I thought I was reeling him in a bit. We will, of course, catch lap traffic at some point, but it's not going to be quite as much as in normal races, just because of how big the track is. We'll only pass lap cars maybe a couple times during the whole race. If you weren't here at the start of the stream, I did increase the AI speed quite a lot compared to what it was before, just to kind of compensate for the newfound pace with force feedback. But I think the consistency itself will also hopefully improve. All right, I've definitely closed him in. I wonder if he's just a bit faster than me on the straights. So towards the end of the lap here, he's able to pull it back out. Nicely through the kink that time. I feel like I touch the dirt every single time through Canada corner. All right, so Michael's in the lead. Rick Mears is behind me in third place. Alistair Jr. Danny Sullivan is back to fifth. That's good, championship-wise. But Michael being in the lead, he pulled out, he pulled out another 0.4. That was a pretty good lap, too. It feels like I'm not losing him, but the timing says otherwise. Something else that's being worked on for this game that I'm excited to use on streams once there's a version of it I can use is a full telemetry timing app that SK is building. So it'll let us see the entire field and keep track of all the positions. I think for you all watching, probably be a little too much information for myself, but for everybody watching, I feel like that could be a lot of fun, be able to see what's going on through the whole pack. And hopefully I can find a place to fit it on the screen here. Oh, a little bit deep. It's all right. I know on the Windows version, Hatcher wants to add a track map like the GP2 version has, where you can see little dots on the map, which that would be wild. It's very exciting. I am so happy I'm not the only person that's interested in these old games. It's makes me feel a little less crazy. All right, it was a lot better through Canada corner that time. Of course, I missed the turn there. Come on. All right, come across the line. Whoa, I gained on him that time. All right, I just need to put together good laps. It's 0.5, half a second gained. Maybe it'll come to me with fuel. I'm gonna jump down one click on the front bar, just get that better turn in. Yeah, you really suck through the fuel around this track. We're already down 10 gallons, so we might be able to make it 20 laps, or no, not even. Probably 16, 17 laps. Which will be just about what we need. What we need to do, 16 would be 32. We need to do like 17 laps to make it on 2 stops. So that's actually important to keep track of. Yeah, it's actually quite easy to save fuel around this track just because of the long braking zones. You can brake you can let off the throttle very early and just kind of coast in and not lose a ton of time. But right now I'm in full push, trying to catch Michael here. Maybe with traffic. But as we've seen throughout the season, traffic is not necessarily my advantage. Yeah, we're going to try to go as far as possible on fuel, just to give myself the options if there's yellow flags. But I think strategy around here is kind of tight. There's not going to be a lot of alternate strategies possible if we get yellows. Yeah, SK, I was also trying to think of where I would fit that on the screen. I think I could not show the F2 HUD if we have that timing, and maybe just throw it down the right side of the screen or something. I don't know. Do something. I think it would be nice to be able to see the entire field as it's racing instead of just the top 5 or the 5 that are around me. Yeah, this stint's going to be the hardest one to do the distance just because I did the pace lap as well. But I think we only used about a gallon during the pace lap, so it's not a massive disadvantage. Hey, welcome, Jake. I like your name. Ran very wide there. Don't want to crash the car. It's easy to spin out if you're on the grass and sliding. Oof. Don't touch the dirt on the entry either. I'm not sure we're going to have to pass Rick at all. I've already passed him, and he's in 3rd place now, so we might not lap him today. So maybe that was the one and only Rick Mears pass, which for myself is good at Road America. It's funny, Rick is not the driver I would choose to have a rivalry with. I was always my father and myself always a really big Rick Mears fans, so it's funny that he ended up being the one that I came into contact with. Michael's just pulling away from me. He's very, very fast. It's not that much different though. I think traffic will be interesting. I don't know when we're going to catch it though. To save fuel, yeah. I think generally IndyCar races from this time, outside of the 500 milers, it's a pretty easy 2-stop. But it's the yellow flags that really throw a wrench into it and make it quite complicated. So, I mean, around a track like this, you wouldn't expect to get many yellow flags. So this one might just go green to checker today. If you're curious how many laps are left, every time I pass the start finish, a little pit board shows up in the top left that'll tell you current position, laps remaining, and the gaps. I love that feature in this game. I kind of recreate it in almost every sim using SimHub and things. I think having your screen somewhat clear of distractions is nice. But you get that little update each lap so you know where you are. Should probably let it run out just a little wider through the carousel. Yeah, Michael is just slightly faster than me. I think if I was putting in perfect laps, I could have a shot at it. But it's even with my new force feedback, stuff like that's what's killing me. I got to stop running off the edges of the track. Yeah, when I race with myself, I don't keep the leaderboard on usually, but I know folks like watching it. All right, we gained 2/10 despite the little off track there. It's fun to do the race and then you can watch the replay after and see what happened. Gives you a little more realistic kind of feeling. All right, so far we haven't had any freezes. That was so bizarre that it froze on the pace lap. I'm really enjoying driving this game now. I mean, I've kind of always liked the physics, but now that you can feel them, it's very smooth. That's one maybe issue with it that's going to make it feel, you know, folks jump into this and try force feedback with it. It's not going to feel like a modern sim because the tracks are perfectly smooth in almost every respect. But it's, I don't know, it's really fun to zip these cars around, and now that you can feel the weight transfer a bit, it's nice. I really like it. Oh, Andrew. I got you sucked into the Indycar Racing 2 world. Well, welcome. The more the merrier. I was talking to, I think it was Hatcher a few weeks ago, as he was just starting to get into the IndyCar 2 stuff, and he was asking why certain things didn't exist, or why certain tools maybe weren't developed, and I was saying that, you know, prior to a couple years ago, I think there were literally at the most a dozen of us that were playing this game. So it has exploded quite a lot. I don't know how many folks play this game now, but it's definitely more than it was a few years ago, and I'm happy about that. Oof. A little bit of oversteer through the kink is never nice. Yeah, I didn't even notice the amount at first, Andrew. That's really, really kind of you. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know if, I mean, clearly, I got a question. Oh, I lost a second that lap to Michael. Jeez. I don't know if, it's a different thing, I think, playing these sims than, some people really want the most realistic feeling game, and that's what they concentrate on. I feel like the most people, that's exactly what they want. And I get a lot of comments on, I was just getting some on the GPL video about how, like, why would you play this? There's better versions of these cars in other games. And I don't really have a good response to that. I just enjoy the older games sometimes. I like the new ones too. I think next weekend we'll be doing some racing in a roadcourse probably. Whoa, lap traffic. All right, let's get my head back in the game. This is turning into a radio hour a bit too much. Oh my God, Arrow. You guys are very nice today. I very much appreciate that. Thank you for gifting a bunch of memberships. I hope I haven't looked recently to see any of the RBR art stuff that you're doing, but I've very much enjoyed your stage maps and stuff in the past. All right, Michael is stuck up behind, I think, Jeff Wood here. This is my opportunity. He's probably going to blast right by him on the straight, or maybe this final corner here, but I just gained a ton on him. I've also got to get by the lap traffic, and this is what I got to be most careful about in this race. Well, only 1.6 seconds. But I gotta be careful here. First time through the traffic, especially. I'm not gonna try to overly take advantage of it, but back off just a little bit there. This is Dean Hall in front. Get around him on the straight. Jeff Wood, wow, we're too wide in front. That's going to hurt Michael there. Right up to the back of him now. Nothing you can do if there's two lapped cars trying to pass each other. There he goes. He sneaks around the outside of Roberto Guerrero. I'll try to get up the inside of Guerrero here. Oh, Guerrero. He's done stuff like that before, too. That was a very close call. He decided to try to make the most of Didier Theys there. Oh, I hit him. It's broken my front wing. Hold on, let's be careful here. All right, it doesn't feel terrible. Let's change our bars a little bit. Maybe I can ride with this. It's a little too early to pit, I think. This is gonna hurt me. On a track like this, though, this is probably the best kind of road circuit to get this type of damage on. There's not the carousel, this corner, going to be bad, but a lot of these corners are quite slow, so I think we should be okay. Yeah, the AI is the toughest part about this game. All right, I'm going to have some words with Guerrero after this one. I'm going to stay out because I don't want to mess up my strategy. It's not that bad. I'm gonna kind of max out my bars. You know, I should really calculate the pit window before the race, but I don't quite know. I know it's a two-stopper normally, but not full tanks each time. You don't need them. Coming out of the carousel, did he block me? It all happened so fast. Ugh, a lot of understeer there. It's the faster corners that are the tricky ones like this. Yeah, my lap. Oh, that's bad. All right, I might have to pit. I'm gonna lose way too much time. We've got 11 gallons to go with the fuel. Coming up to lap 14. All right, I'm gonna pit. I think we'll be able to finish it on 2 full tanks from here, maybe with a little bit of fuel saving, but it's gonna be better than losing a ton of time. I bet I lost another 4 or 5 seconds to Michael on this lap. Jump into the pits. It's going to be a long stop as well to change the front wing. All right, not what I was hoping for with the first stint. Yeah, we'll just take full fuel. I'll get my bars back down. Come on. This is all the wing change. You can imagine the crew fumbling with the screws at the front of the car. All right, just don't speed. 37 laps to go. So if we, yeah, it's gonna be tight. So I have to make it like 18 laps. All right, we're in 10th. We're still in the points. We've slid back to 10th. We got Mario behind me. The other thing that compounds this is I'm on heavier fuel at this point, which really matters in this game. You kind of want to maximize the time that you're on light fuel. Here comes Mario up the inside. I tried to outbrake him there, but it just wasn't possible. All right, let's just settle in. Long race to go yet. Yeah, there could be cautions. You never know. Mario's doing double work here for his son, his teammate. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, I've been watching the 1993 season. For some reason, I have no idea why I decided to do that. I think I saw one of the streams pop up, but I put together a calendar to watch the Formula One season and the Indycar season in the right order. So it's the most interesting year to do that, in my opinion, because of the crossover. Nigel Mansell comes to IndyCar, Michael Andretti goes to F1. So it's really fun to watch it all play out in kind of real time. And Mario gets a win at Phoenix, which is his first win since I think '87. But it's such a crazy race. Paul Tracy's like 2 laps in the lead. I'm 55 seconds off the lead now. Dang. Yeah, Paul Tracy has like a 2-lap lead over the whole field and bins it going into the first corner trying to pass a slower car. And it's really, he kind of blames it on the slower car, but it's one of those things where you're 2 laps in the lead. You could just slow down and pass him at a better spot. Yeah, Mansell's not in the Phoenix race because he crashed in practice and had some back issues that kind of come with the rest of the season. He's like struggling with that despite his success. But he wins the first race at Surfers Paradise. And watching the Kyalami Formula One race to start that season, they actually, the broadcast I was looking at that I found was this Australian broadcast of it. And they are actually interviewing Mario and Nigel. They have them sat on a couch. And throughout the race, they check in with Mario and Nigel, who are in Australia because of the Surfers Paradise IndyCar race the next weekend. And they look like they've just gotten off a plane. I mean, I guess because of when F1 races, that race would be in the middle of the night for Australians. So it's the middle of the night. They're super jet lagged. And they're interviewing them. And of course, Michael Andretti stalls on the grid and has a crash pretty early on in that one. And so Mario is just kind of not having it. It's a really interesting little slice of motorsport history. All right, I'm a little slow. Why did it freeze again? I'm quick on the pause button, but I'm lucky I'm on a straight line, but I have no idea why it's freezing randomly. I don't know if it's the update. It's never done that for me before. I don't know if it's the update to the rendition wrapper. It updated today. It was a pretty big update as well. And I know there's some new processing stuff in it. So I don't know if that's the issue. I'm really worried if that happens in a corner though, that I'm just not going to be able to pause it fast enough. Ugh. Just try to pretend it's not going to happen again. I'm like going for a pass or something, like it's going to be really hard. I'll just pretend it won't happen. And we're like 2/3 of a lap down to the leader. Now, I'm on heavy fuel. When they come out of the pits, they're going to be on heavy fuel, and I'm going to be on pretty light fuel. I imagine they're going to pit probably in 2 or 3 laps. And so I will be at an advantage for the rest of my stint. How much of an advantage is tough to say. I'm going to be really far behind Michael, though, and might have even lost out to third. I'm almost certain I've lost out to third. Oh, there goes Mario into the pits. All right, they're actually starting to pit now. Jumping up the order. I think that's Rick. I think I saw Rick up the track, or maybe Sullivan. Did I lose that much time? The pit stop I took was long because of the wing change, and I've been losing time each lap because of the heavy fuel. Yeah, that is Sullivan. All right, I'm back in 5th then, I think. After all that, we got to work past some of these cars again. I was just talking earlier about how we don't have to pass Rick Mears again today, but that's wrong. Definitely going to have to. He's just up the road, though. We got Rick and Danny right in front of me. I'm on warmer tires now and got less fuel than they do, so it should be possible to get around them pretty easily. I think they just stopped and came out of the pits. This is going to be an uphill battle today. That hit with Guerrero there really messed this up. In the slipstream of Sullivan now. 31 seconds off the lead. I think that's the honest gap after the pit stops. I've lost like 25 seconds to Michael. It's rough. All right, we got a lapped car in front too, as well as he's going to block me. Sullivan works up the inside of him. Is that Randy Lewis? All right, got around Sullivan there. I was so in the moment. Had to commentate about it. Chased him through, though, at the top of the hill. All right, we'll set our sights now on Rick Mears, get back into 3rd at least. Alistair Jr. then, who I'm battling for 3rd in the title, really, is in 2nd. Not so far ahead, only about 10 seconds. Michael's just got a heck of a lead now. I feel like the frame rate's going crazy as well. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's not unwatchable for you all. Whoa, a little bit wide there. Yeah, if I can make it to like 18 laps to go, we can definitely do it on the one more stop, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. It says we can go 12 more laps right now. It's going to be really close. Would hate to have a splash and dash at the end, though. But I don't exactly want to turn the car down now. Reeling in Rocket Rick. I'm afraid it's gonna freeze going through the kink or something. That's gotta be like ready to pause it immediately if it does. I've never had a freezing problem with this, and all the time I played Rendition. It's the first time. This is bad. This is going to be really tough to get to the end of this. I mean, I guess we can kind of pretend I'm having some sort of mechanical problem that I'm nursing. I guess that's what we'll have to say. I don't know what I can do about this right now. But that was another freeze just within a couple laps. I was quick on the button that time. The third freeze we've had during the race, and the last two have been in quite quick succession. Driver's losing oxygen. Yeah, as long as I hope it doesn't like crash or something on me. All right, right up behind Rick now. It's always something. I guess that's the negative about playing these old games is there's always something to troubleshoot. Although I had this running really well. We had a great time at Mid-Ohio with it. That's the one thing I don't like about this app being kind of always connected to the Microsoft Store is that it just updated, without me doing anything. Updated the morning of a live stream, which is not ideal, I'll tell you. Just say I have some sort of car problem that hopefully won't take us out of it at any second. Hopefully won't take us and a competitor out at any second. All right, in the slipstream. Let's see if the draft is enough to pull me around Rick. He's just a bit faster even with the slipstream, which is maybe that wing. Maybe I got to get that wing off the rear. I think I'm a lot faster in the corners, but it's no good if I can't get around him on the straights. All right. Rick going left, going right. Dive bomb into turn 5. There we go. Nice clean pass. Much better than 89. It's not clear to me, just in the couple of freezes we've had. I'm not sure if the game is continuing while it's frozen. It must be because I'm able to pause. You know, it could actually be lossless scaling that's making it freeze. Let me see if I can do something real quick with that. Just pause it here for a second. I'm just going to restart lossless scaling and see if that fixes it. Who knows? It's also a lot more stuttery than I would expect. I am running on an older version of lossless scaling because yeah, I am using a older version of lossless scaling so that now you're seeing now you're seeing lossless scaling. Ugh, come on. Show me the game. Show me the game. Why isn't it showing me the game now? Now I've really broken it. I can't capture the game for some reason. All right, let's try to fix this. Do I have to move? Sometimes it's weird. Professional streamer here. All right, well, maybe we're gonna have to do this a different way. Oop, there's DOS. Dang. Yeah, it's recording, capturing these things is difficult sometimes. I'm not sure why. Oh, we got it. All right, nobody move. Don't touch anything. Okay. Hopefully this works better now. Sorry for the pause in the middle, but I'm afraid the freezing's gonna get me. All right, focus. Let's hope everything continues to work. Up the inside of Bettenhausen there. It's tough to pause mid-race and get your groove back. There we go. All right, we're chasing now. I just paused it. Wrong button. We're chasing Allison Jr. then. He's not that far ahead, actually, but we're both cataclysmically behind Michael Andretti. I think I'm going to have to work here on getting Allison Jr. and then fuel saving, and we'll just have to hope for a Michael issue. But if I have to pit twice, I'm going to lose second. And so I think we need to focus on just pitting once more. But we'll use a little fuel here to try to catch. While I'm at an advantage, we'll try to catch Allison Jr. Wow. Slow traffic. Get around him into the carousel. It's a little scary. I think we got Raul Boisel in front, not having a good race today. In the True Sports car. cars all over the track. And a nice wide berth onto the front stretch here. All right, I think the next car up the road is Little Al. Coming up, we're halfway through the race, or coming up to halfway. We're at half fuel, though, for this stint. Yeah, that's Little Al up there, just going over the horizon. Yeah, we're trying to catch Little Al. So if you missed the race thus far, it's been an interesting one. Qualified on the pole quite handily over the field. We got jumped on the start by Rick Mears and Michael Andretti, and Michael Andretti just took the lead almost instantly and has been setting a torrid pace. Was trying to catch him through some lap traffic and came into contact with Roberto Guerrero and broke the front wing, tried to stick it out for a lap, but was just losing a lot of time. Pit changed the wing, but lost like 30 seconds in the whole process. And now we're in a kind of a precarious spot where we don't quite have enough fuel to make it to the end on one more stop. But I'm trying to use what I can to get a good position back while we have a lighter car. The last stint might be just a lot of fuel saving, to be honest. And meanwhile, we've been nursing a weird issue the whole race that we're saying is a a car issue. But the game's randomly freezing on me here and there, which is fun. But hopefully I just fixed that. We'll see. Some real-time troubleshooting. It might be lossless scaling and not the rendition game. That's just the thing that changed recently, so that's what's making me question it. All right, 27 laps to go. Yeah, if we can do another 10 laps, which doesn't look like is possible, that would get us to the finish on one more stop, but it looks like we're a couple laps short of that. I don't really want to turn the car down. We're reeling in Axelson Jr. here slowly. We're actually matching Michael for pace, but 30 seconds is too much to make up on pace alone, especially when I have to fuel save. We're going to use this light car because when I come out of the pits after the stop, that's when the car is going to be so slow. We'll see what I feel like this is a pretty decent lap, and I think I'm reeling him in pretty good. So hopefully I can get around him in just a couple more laps, and then we can try to save fuel while blocking him. It's always easier to save fuel when you're in front of somebody. Or we could slipstream him and save fuel that way. There's another thought. Do I just follow Axelson Jr. very closely and save fuel using the slipstream? We're only 2 seconds behind him now, though. It's not going to be long at this rate. He's coming up behind AJ Foyt. Al Jr. gets in front of AJ through turn 5 there. AJ is always tough to pass. He's got a lot of aggression, so it doesn't make it easy. He's going to fade left to sneak up the inside into the carousel. That was about as perfect as it could be. Thank AJ for jumping out of the way. We've come a long way since Toronto '89. Yeah, we could have a caution, and that would really spice things up. I think I'd stay out right now if there was a caution, because we're not going to make it to the end. I might as well just use the fuel saving under yellow. All right. Closer still to Allister Jr. It's my main rival right now in fighting for third in the championship, which is looking increasingly like what the possibilities could be. This little black flicker in the rearview mirrors every once in a while that also frightens me. Everything scares me. Oh, we got some lap traffic ahead. It'd be good to get around Little Al before this. Maybe I can do my carousel move on him. Seems to be a favorite today. Oh, big slide there. But you can just play with those with this force feedback. Slide up the inside of Al. Oh, he really squeezes me down. Surprised we didn't make contact there. That was really tight. Get around Little Al, though, through the carousel. Oh, we got Guerrero in front. Perfect. Should be able to nip up the inside of him in the Canada corner. Al gets around him as well. All right, we're in second. We're back in second after all that. We got 12 gallons of fuel remaining, which I think is enough for 5 laps. It's tough. I don't know. I'm not as comfortable yet with these mirrors to know if I'm actually going to hit somebody or not. I got really good with the old style mirrors to know just what the gaps might be. So we can get Dean Hall here into turn 1. Like that. I don't know how close that is. Yeah, they really suck through fuel. 40 gallons goes. The races, typically, this track's a bit more fuel hungry than others, but the races in this, for a 200-mile race, usually take anywhere between 100 and 110 or so gallons of fuel. 110 gallons of fuel per car for a race is a lot of gas. All right, we got Eddie Cheever then. It froze again. Wow. Was able to catch it, but dang. All right, whatever I did not fix it. I don't know what's going on. We're just gonna have to hope I can nurse this issue to the finish. Oh, yellow flag. All right, put it down. We'll catch the pack, and then we'll figure out what happened. Yeah, it is always on the straights. I've been lucky so far. I think the moment Michael Andretti jumps into the pits, I'm not gonna pit. He is not gonna make it to the finish from here. This could be my fatal mistake. I'm not gonna pit because I still would have to pit again anyway. No, I would still have to pit again anyway. Everybody's still going to have to pit. Michael just comes out of the pits in front of me. Yeah, it's always going to be easier in retrospect to think of what to do, but he's going to be on heavy fuel. Listen to me. He's going to be on heavy fuel. I'm going to have a massive speed advantage here. We both have to pit once more. I have a legitimate shot to win this race now. That yellow has saved us. We both have to stop again. He probably has a full tank of fuel. I've got 10 gallons. I'm going to have to pit pretty soon, but it's going to depend a little bit on the yellows as well. Tires, I'm sure, are fine. We never run through them. Although, yeah, the rear's got a little toasty here. About 3/4 wear. All right, we'll see what happened that caused this yellow. What caused our yellow today? Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to super save fuel here for a few laps under yellow, and then we still might be tight on fuel, but it's going to be a lot more possible. Let's see here. Who is broken or stopped or... Oh, John Andretti had some issue. So back it up. Ooh, coming into the final corner, it looks like. Spun on oil, but it very much looked like he just gave up. All right, so the Porsche is having some issues. We'll watch a quick onboard here. Goes to turn in, and yeah, that's our yellow flag. The AI just kind of give up when they spin like that. All right. No. I was not paying attention as I went for a sip of coffee. Oh my God, that's the stupidest thing I could have done. Everyone's gonna hate me for that. I'm gonna get so much hate for that. That really... I was so looking forward to the end of that race. Well, that takes Michael out of it as well. I'm mostly just like really disappointed that I'm not going to see the end of this race. It was getting really interesting. That's 100% me looking at the chat and taking a drink of coffee and not braking. That's just the worst. I've done this a million times, but you know, I hope to not do it on stream. I mean, I had plenty of time to brake there too. I just coasted right into them. I didn't even hit them that hard. I've hit them much harder before, but that's that is my Kevin Kogan moment. Well, I'm gonna pass Michael. We're gonna drive back to the pits. I'm leading the race right now. Oh my God, that's such a bummer. No, it's not fixable. I know very much. I can't even turn to the right at all. My God, that one hurts so much because I could have won that race. Yeah, if I didn't break the suspension there, I could have fixed it in the pits, but no, it's not fixable. Ugh. Well, we'll have to see here what happens with, hey, we've seen those things happen in real life where cars hit each other under yellow. That just is a gut punch. It's such a stupid thing to do. All right, we'll see what happens with the rest of the race here. Dang, this was exciting up till that point. There was a lot going on. I guess that gives me a chance to figure out why the game is freezing randomly. That's just like the dumbest thing I've done in a while. All right, we'll see what happens to the end. So Alistair Jr. is leading. I mean, so Alistair Jr. is going to gain real big on the championship here, and we have to hope Danny Sullivan. I mean, the hope would be, oh, Danny just lost a place. He's in 6th now. Nope, back up to 5th. He's battling with Mario. But we'll see what happens towards the end. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I don't have to worry about it freezing, but that's just such a silly way for this to end. Run into a car under yellow. Alonso Jr. pits with 16 laps to go. All right, everybody's pitting. It should be their final stops. Looks like Rick and Danny are going an extra lap here. Yeah, it'd be nice. So you can pause this and then watch the race replay, but there's no way to watch the race while you're watching the standings. Maybe with that'd be an interesting thing with the timing app. Does it work under replay? Can you see the standings under replay? I don't know. All right, Rick is somehow leading. I mean, I imagine maybe he pit under yellow, so. But Sullivan's in 2nd, Alonso Jr.'s in 3rd. I imagine they're going to have to pit again. There's just 11 laps to go. We have to hope that Sullivan and Rick, although Alonso Jr. is the one battling me in the points, it's just going to tighten up. If he wins and Danny finishes back, I think Danny's going to have the points lead, but Al will be right about with them. I will have gained nothing today. Eight laps to go. Ooh, Ari's pit there. All right, maybe they're going to start pitting. Emerson drops back to 5th. Bobby and Emerson are fighting here. Only 6 laps to go. Are they gonna stay out somehow? Oh, there you go. Pits with 4 laps to go. But Danny's in 3rd place. It was a short pit stop. I mean, that was a great strategy. They just did a little splash and dash at the end. Actually, it would have been really interesting to see how it played out for me because I was going to have to do like a long pit stop at the end, whereas these guys did a very short one. I'm going to be kicking myself for this. This was such a silly way to lose a race. I think I've lost races in this game in just about every way that you can. I guess that's what happens when you do a bunch of races in it. But this was a winnable race today. It would have been a surprise win too because Michael was so fast. But Rick and Danny are neck and neck. I just hope that Rick doesn't let his teammate pass here. One more lap to go for Alonso Jr. Looks like Rick's got the edge a little bit on Danny. And comes across the line. Alonso Jr. wins the race. Ahead of Rick Mears, Danny Sullivan in 3rd. Let the rest of the field finish here. I would have seen the real problem is I was looking at the chat. So it's your fault. But there it is. Alonso Jr. wins the race, leading 13 laps ahead of Rick Mears in 2nd, who led 10 laps on the race. Danny Sullivan finishes 3rd. I think Danny's going to be our new championship leader, ahead of Bobby Rahal and Emerson Fittipaldi. Emerson Fittipaldi finishes 5th. Mario is back in 6th ahead of Scott Goodyear, Ari Leyendijk, Teo Fabi, Scott Brayton, Eddie Cheever and AJ Foyt gets a point in a road circuit, finishing in 12th. Raul Boisel's back in 13th ahead of Mike Groff, Tony Bettenhausen Jr., ahead of Randy Lewis, Dominic Dobson, Didier Thays, Jeff Wood back in 19th ahead of Dean Hall, and Roberto Guerrero, who really spiced that one up, but finishes the last car running. I did end up finishing ahead of Michael just because I passed him before I DNF'd, but yeah, a DNF. Michael led every lap up to that point, so he's actually going to get a point anyway for leading the most laps, ahead of John Andretti, who we saw have the accident that kind of started all this, and then Hiro Matsushita had an oil pump go. Only one technical DNF. Yeah, it was a pretty clean race, actually. There's the car. Very disappointing. Let me save these. Oh, very disappointing, but Allister Jr. gets the win there. So let's look at the points. Here it is. Here's where the championship is now. Put the music on. It feels wrong to play this music when it's not like a victory or something, but Danny Sullivan is leading the championship like we thought, ahead of Michael Andretti, 12 points. Danny's getting very close to locking this one up. But Michael Andretti in second, 12 points behind. Allister Jr. opens up his lead, 12 points on me. Also, everybody's 12 points. Danny Sullivan and Michael Andretti's 12, to Allister Jr.'s 12, to myself is 12. So we are 36 points behind the lead, which is theoretically still possible, but very much all three of these guys would have to DNF. And I'd have to win the final two races, essentially, or finish second to get it. So unlikely, but after that showing, I think that's probably what I deserve. Running into the back of Michael Andretti. He'll be very upset about that, losing the championship lead to Danny Sullivan, which is 2 rounds remaining in the season. I've got a pretty healthy lead on Emma still, so it's mostly looking forward, but it's all about trying to get back around Allister Jr. That hurts, man. I've only got 2 rounds to go in the championship, though. Nazareth is next up, which I believe also has the All-Star round. They did an All-Star race, the IndyCar Challenge, which I suppose we'll do. I think I need as much practice as possible. But Nazareth, it's going to be all gas, no brakes to try to figure out how to finish up front. I don't know. It's disheartening to lose a race like that, but we wanted to do this race as a hardcore season, so I guess this is what we get. Is running into the back of the AI. All right, I think that's going to be it for this one. Unfortunate ending to this. Technical issues along the way. It wasn't a perfect race as it was, but I tried. I tried to do it. Didn't work out today, but I appreciate everybody joining. I hope it was enjoyable to watch at least. It's always fun doing these races in IndyCar too, and I'll definitely want to get to the next one pretty soon. But like I said, I think I'll be back next weekend for some other racing, maybe something a little more modern, doing some racing with some other folks. But we'll try to figure out when to do the challenge race. Also got Sim Rally Masters starting up pretty soon, and maybe sneak a sneaky rally in before then just to prep for that a bit more. But anyways, hope everybody has a good weekend. I'm going to go watch some short track racing tonight and clear my mind of this silly mistake. But I'll see you all again next time. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you later.